Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 1 of our 1934 AMT Ford pickup truck, Texaco truck. We're going to do this as a tow truck for our Texaco station. So let me get the guys out of the way here and we'll talk about what we got done, which for the first build update is quite a bunch. Jake is even enjoying this one. So let me move some of this out of the way and we'll talk about the Christmas elephant in the room. Check this out. I am really digging this. When I first started spraying this, first thing that came to mind was Christmas. But once these get painted black, and things start to happen here, Texaco's decals get put on, I don't think we'll have a problem with that. What I did is I spent, geez, a good probably 2.5 to 3 hours just cleaning all the parts for this. There was some flash, some like mismold where they were just off just a little bit. And what that did is left a big line around everything, especially my exhaust pipe. Let me move these out of the way because for what this started out to be and what I got, this is pretty dang nice. This was off probably the thickness of my thumbnail, and I had to sand it down. So this is, it's much thinner than it probably was supposed to be, but it had to be that way because there was no way I could put that on there with it looking the way it was. I thought about cutting it off the muffler and just building my own, but this got some really cool muffler clamps on it, and I like highlighting parts that come with kits. So I didn't do it. I sanded it down, got it all nice and smooth. I then drilled the hole in the back here for the exhaust, and what I did is I heated up a pin and drove it in there for center mark, and then just went with 2 different size drill bits until I got it to where if I went any more I would blow out the sides. So there's that. The green is just simply X28. I thought about mixing this with chrome silver, and the color that came out was horrible. So I went with the X5, and I tried that, and it looked pretty darn good, but not for this kit. So I'm gonna use that on something else. But here we are with the green. It sprayed nicely. This, I used the my GHAD 98 airbrush, my gallery airbrush, with the number 3 tip in it. And I didn't want to put usually I use a big tip when I do body parts like this. But I also had this. And this. And I didn't want to just flood these things. So I decided to use the regular airbrush with this, just the smaller tip, and it worked out great. I'm telling you, when you start putting that paint down and you got it mixed right, the pattern that this thing lays is phenomenal. I just did a video on how I spray semi-gloss black with, I used the GHAD 90 or 68, which is the trigger airbrush. I'm kind of falling in love with that thing. But watch that video and look at the first pass I did. I did it on purpose, just barely spraying that thing, and look at the pattern that comes off of that airbrush, that tip. And both those tips are the same on the 98 and the 68. So when you spray the 98, you're going to get just as good a results as the 68. It's just different, the different way you hold the tip. So this I used the 98 on, which is the standard airbrush, and with the 0.3 millimeter tip in it. I kind of leave that in there because I like using that when I get up close and trying to do the smaller stuff. It feels right. Where when I do like the body panels, I use that the GHAD 68 just like an airbrush in a spray booth. It feels perfect for doing the bigger panels and things like that. Even if I have the 0.3 millimeter tip in it, the way it feels doing body panels, I can keep a nice straight flat line going across it this way, whereas I'm holding it this way, I have a tendency to want to arch. So it works out for me. And I'll tell you what, I never thought that I would want two airbrushes. You know, I've always gone with the cheapos from Harbor Freight and things like that. But now that I'm spraying with these good airbrushes, I would never want to change. And I always going to want to have both types. It just works out really well for me. But there's enough of the airbrushes. The body's going to look great on this. Like I said, when I first started spraying this, the first thing I thought of was, well, it's a Christmas truck. But like I said, once I get the decals on the door and things like that, I'm going to have an antenna on here. I'm going to make a CB in here. Stuff like that, it's going to really come into its own, especially with the bed being painted the wood with the silver in there, and then with the tow truck assembly in there also. It'll look a lot better. You know, I'm going to have this in there. I thought about redoing the winch on here. Let me move some of these out of the way so it's easier to see. I thought about redoing the winch on here, but again, I'm a sucker for keeping a good kit the way it is. So I'm going to leave the original handle on there. But what I did with the original handle, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but I put an etch mark all the way around the end, just about this far, well, this far in. So I have a little cap and then this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this section right here in like a wood grain, and then I'll cap it off. We'll leave this black and the arm and everything black, and that'll look like a wooden handle grip. So when you spin it, there's something there that spins around in your hand so that you're not burning the snot out of your hand while you're squeaking this thing around trying to lift a car off the ground. But that's where we're going to go with that. That'll look good on here. I've already test fitted it. It fits in there nice. I'll put it in to where this comes out on the driver's side, just because that'll be the way he'd be like backed up and in, and he'd be off the road that way. So there's that. I'm just real happy with all these little parts. I took the horn and I drilled out the center to make it look better. And what I did is, again, I flattened it out. I put a little hole in it with a hot pin, and then I went with a small bit, and then I worked my way up to where I actually used a regular, I think it was almost a 1/4 inch drill bit in there to get that cone right. And I wanted to thin it out a little bit more, but I was afraid that I'd blow out the side. So that's where we are there. I am going to put a little gold ring around this just to highlight it, and it'll be sitting underneath the lights. So the black with the green and the red and everything, that'll start looking good. Now let's talk about these lights just for a second here. They're a 2-piece light set where there's going to be a chrome bezel that goes in here that fits the whole thing. And it's in the box. I'm not going to dig it out to show you. But what I did is I drilled out the bottom on both of these, and then I put the bezel in, and I marked them. You know, I marked the driver's side. So when I drilled that hole into the bezel, they will line up. So I drilled this into the chrome, pulled everything out, put the chrome away so I don't ruin it, and did the same with this with the other one. And those little LEDs will fit in. I'll pull it all the way through, fit it into the chrome bezel, and then pull everything back into place once the glue inside the chrome bezel is dry. And then I'll be able to put the light lenses on there, and we'll run these wires down. I'll drill 2 holes in here. I should have done it before I painted, but I'm going to drill a hole here and a hole here where these drop in. Like that. I'll drill a hole underneath it, or maybe just work it in down the run. I'll probably drill a hole in there and route them like I always do to the back. But I thought about painting these black, but I decided I'm going to go with the green with the chrome. With the green, I'll paint this piece here silver on both sides, and then I'm going to paint this bar silver also. So that'll look really nice. And right now I'm kind of happy the way these are sitting, because this thing was bent like a pretzel. There was a huge I can't even pick it up with my Snicker bar fingers here. There was a huge, almost an S bend in here and a twist. So you can see I'm still off a little bit. I still got to work it out, but I'll heat it up a couple more times and get that twisted this way, and that'll get everything lined up and ready to rock and roll. But there's our lights, and I told you I was going to light this, and I am. So it's going to look good. The set of lights that go on the back here, there's 2 chrome lights that shine out back this way that I'm going to drill out, and I'll run those wires down both bars here where it comes into here before the bracing. I'll drill a hole, and then I'll run them down. I'll run it across and over and down this way. I'm not sure if I'm going to run cable or chain for the hoist yet, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do a pulley on the hoist and come up and tie into the top here, so it comes down and back up with the pulley hooked up, and I'll hook the pulley up to the back of the bed. I'll make a loop where you pull the hook it, and then tighten it up so that it doesn't bang around on the way down the road. But this is going to be really cool. The framework and all the semi-gloss black painted up really, really nice, and it looks really good underneath the green. I'm really happy with that, although I think I just put this in upside down. Yeah. Like that. That's going to look really... Oh, that's not right. I was right the first time. Like that. Because the battery box is this way. But that's going to look real good. I do have to paint this aluminum. I want to do a little bit of highlights like where the motor mounts go and things like that. I might touch all the bolts with a little bit of chrome or steel. We'll see. You see the rubber goes all the way underneath this. So when I do the black on the top, I'll run it across all the way around and underneath. And I'll do that there too. But this is going to be their work and show truck. So although it's going to be like a show truck, and it's going to go to the different shows and show off the Texaco, Grandpa Mark's Texaco station, it's going to show a little wear too. It's not going to be 100%. So I'll do a little bit of chipping around the bed and the door. Where'd that go? Little chipping around on the tailgate. I like the chains on here. They really did a good job on those. So I'll paint those, and then black on the rubber on here where it's supposed to not scratch. But so far, I think we're coming along very well. Oh yeah, all the chrome that I wanted to strip went into the LA Awesome, and it did a great job. I'll show you right here real easy. You can see on the heads, I stripped the chrome off the heads because I want to paint these. I got to come up with the right color for this too. It's like a turquoise. So I'll be mixing blue and green here until I get it right. But I did those, and Jake's up there having a fit. But I did those, I got all this sanded off and glued. This is the only thing that's glued up so far. Inside here are some other things that I stripped, like the intake, all the tools. I didn't want to chrome. That's just too much. But for right now, I think we're doing pretty darn good. Like I said, I'm kind of going stock-ish with this. So it's not going to be box stock, of course, because I can't do that, especially running the lights. But it's going to be pretty darn close. And I think it's going to look great. Like I said, I got to do the wood grain in here. There is a link on our Facebook group page that shows how to do wood grain, and it's just, the guy makes it so easy, and it really is. I've done it a couple of times, and with great results every time. So I'm looking forward to doing this, and then again I'm going to do the bare metal foil strips inside here, just because I can. I have some left over, and I'm going to use it, and then all these things here where it bolts down onto the frame, I'll do just a little Molotov chrome on there, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dirty it up just a little bit too, because like I said, this is used, so we're going to make it that way. But with this, I will let you go. I think we're getting along here really well. Next build, I'm hoping to actually get some decals put on here, because I want to put some decals on before I put it together, just so it's easier. And then we'll go from there. Oh, I wanted to show you the tire rack. This thing came with the tire rack that it's supposed to hold 4. I was able to squeeze the 5th one in there. And I wanted to show you these white wall tires are going to look so sweet underneath here for this old truck. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. I'm having a problem trying to figure out what color to do the center rims. I was thinking the red. I was thinking just go with green. I was also thinking of the stock yellow that they used to come in, like that yellowish antique color. And I was also just thinking about doing them in like a gloss black. So let me know what you think, because I'm kind of struggling with that, or else they'd have paint on them already. With that, I will let you go. I'm Grandpa Mark. This is Grandpa Mark's Hobbies. Y'all have a great day, a better tomorrow, and a fantastic week. Thanks for watching.